You know, we all grew up watching Melissa Gilbert as Laura Ingalls, that fearless girl with the braids, always standing up for what was right, running barefoot through the fields, learning hard lessons on the prairie. But life after Walnut Grove? That was a whole different story, and one of the most beautiful parts of it? Her journey as a mom. Because behind the fame, the headlines, the roles, Melissa Gilbert has lived a quiet, powerful story of motherhood. And today, I want to talk about her 2 sons, not for gossip, not for clicks, but because their story matters, because it's real, and real stories are the ones that stay with us. Let's start with her first son, Dakota Paul Brinkman. He was born in 1984, during her first marriage to Bo Brinkman, a rodeo cowboy. It was young love, passionate, a little impulsive, and Dakota. He came into the world full of hope. Melissa has said that holding him for the first time changed everything. She said, "In that moment, I wasn't Laura. I wasn't a star. I was just a mom. And that was enough." And you can feel that. Because even when the marriage didn't last, it ended quietly with an annulment, she never let Dakota become part of the drama. No paparazzi shots, no tabloid stories, she just protected him. And to this day, Dakota lives a private life, far from Hollywood, no social media, no interviews, and Melissa respects that. She doesn't push him into the light. She lets him be who he wants to be, and honestly, that's one of the most loving things a parent can do. Not to live through your child, but to let them live their own life. And she's proud of him, not for fame, but for being a good man. Now, her second son, Michael Garrett Boxleitner, came into the world in 1987, this time during her marriage to Bruce Boxleitner, an actor she deeply admired. This relationship felt more grounded, more mature. And when their son was born, they gave him a name that meant something. They named him Michael, after Michael Landon. Yes, that Michael Landon, the man who played Charles Ingalls, the man who, in so many ways, was a father to Melissa on Little House. She said it herself. "Michael Landon was the closest thing I had to a dad in this business. He taught me how to stand up, how to believe in myself. Naming my son after him was my way of saying thank you." And when I heard that, it broke my heart, in the best way, because it wasn't about fame. It was about love, about legacy, about honoring the man who shaped her. And now, that little boy, Michael Jr., carries that name. Not just as a tribute, but as a quiet promise that the values of kindness, strength, and integrity, the ones Charles Ingalls stood for, are still alive. And they are, because Melissa raised both of her sons with those same values, even when life got hard. Even when her marriage to Bruce ended in 2011, after more than 20 years. That divorce was painful, public, full of misunderstandings. But through it all, one thing never changed: her role as a mother. She didn't disappear. She didn't turn bitter. She showed up for her boys, for their hearts, for their peace. And years later, she said, "I wasn't perfect. I made mistakes, but I never stopped trying to be the mom they needed." And that's the truth most moms live. We don't get it right every time, but we keep going, and that's what she did. Today, her sons are grown. Dakota lives a quiet, private life, and she honors that. Michael Jr. has followed a creative path, music, performance, and she supports him with pride. And now, she's a grandmother, and when she posts a photo of herself holding her grandchild, you can feel it, the full circle. The girl who played a daughter on TV, now the woman who's a mom, a grandma, a survivor, and still, in spirit, Laura. Because the lessons from the prairie, she didn't just learn them, she lived them and passed them on. hard work, family first. Love without condition, and the courage to keep going, no matter what. And I like to imagine Charles Ingalls, or rather Michael Landon, smiling somewhere, knowing that the girl he called Papa's Girl named her son after him, that his legacy lives on, not just in reruns, but in a little boy named Michael, in a family that still believes in doing the right thing, in a woman who, through fame, loss, and healing, never forgot what mattered. So the next time you see Melissa Gilbert, whether she's at a convention, in an interview, or just walking down the street, don't just see Laura Ingalls. See the woman behind her, the mom, the fighter, the one who carried the prairie in her heart and built her own home with it. Because that's the real story, not of a character, but of a real woman who loved deeply, who raised 2 sons, and who proved that the strongest role she ever played was mom.